Hello everyone. I have a new technique that I found looking at YouTube's that allowed me to make these embellished paper clips. Look at these nice little quotes. And I did it first time. And how did this come out this way? Here's another embellished envelope. And this is a stamped image from Graphic 45s, and so is this one. And when I was looking at YouTube's, I found two videos, and I thought I had written down the names, but I didn't. One was designing your own tissue paper, and what this person did was stamp images all over the tissue paper. A second person was using, what is that white stuff? She would use something like white paint, and then she would stamp. Well, I tried that, and neither of them really kind of worked. But what I did, kind of using the two videos, is I started stamping on tissue paper. And here are my quotes, because I love quotes, but you know, it never seems to fail. You want it to be perfect, and it doesn't work, does it? And I don't know how many of these I have messed up. And this is one of my favorite stamps, but I couldn't use it. You see all the tiny little like swirls there? Well, on tissue paper, they were able to, you can show that detail. And what is nice about tissue paper is that you could try several times to get it just right. And once you get it just right, and here's another group, you can then go ahead and glue them. Now, this is a little bit different in the sense you get a different effect than using your cardstock. It's a little bit translucent. So here is a tag, and oh, let me demonstrate. This is not rocket science. And so all you have to do, here's a stamp, and I just stamp on the tissue paper looking for the best one. And this, because you're on tissue paper, you get an opportunity to get some of the detail you sometimes don't get. You can see right there, and here is my other favorite one that I just talked to you about with all the swirls. And you get this second chance that sometimes when you're working with paper, you can't do that. And especially if there's a lot of detail. And there you see them. See this down here? A little bit too dark. I don't really care for it. Same thing. Well, what I can do, and you can just keep stamping until you get the perfect one. And I like that one. And this was just a delicate stamp. Here's another one. It has these swirls. Oops, move the camera. And there you go. You get wonderful detail just with this. Now, once you stamped them, and you can see I didn't get very good, but it's no big loss on here because all I'm doing is stamping on tissue paper right there. So there you see the effect of stamping on tissue paper, and it's very forgiving because you can pick the best one. So I have a whole collection, and it kind of goes through into my whiteboard, and this is wonderful for images. These are Graphic 45s right there, and they just give me a lot of opportunity to play. Now, this is a tag under construction. What I like about this is it allows me to kind of figure out where is the best place for this stamp. Sometimes you when you have your stamp and that one happens to be a wooden one, you can't really sometimes predict. You can get it as straight as you can. Now, tissue paper is much more forgiving than a napkin, but I still use that same technique. Why? Because I find, and there you see, I'm just putting some ink or some Mod Podge to the back. Now, because I can kind of see it, and if it wasn't for this camera, I would probably be this would be a lot faster. And this plastic, which is a page protector, gives me, allows me to smooth it, as you can see right there. And as you can see, the result is a little bit translucent. You can see the quote, but it's not that real harsh white square. And it, later on, as it if I continue adding layers to this, it just blends into as part of the tag. So that's one of the neat things about using tissue paper. So that's one effect. The other thing I did with them was I was playing with embellished envelopes. I was trying to enter the swap, and I came up with this, and it's basically using napkin decoupage to cover your envelopes. So I was greatly inspired by this technique. So here we go. I made that one, and I made this one. So let me see which one I'm going to start with. Okay, I think I'm going to start with this. Okay, I'm just using those because they're handy. All right, so what I usually did, as you can see, let me get the original. I start with a rectangle, and this is some old book page. And what I did was basically put some lace, as you can see right there. This is a smaller envelope, and I put it at an angle. And I also, this is a die cut, and this is a corner die cut, and I just colored it with distress ink. And so, you know, I kind of positioned it where I think it's going to work, but I want the paper to be in an angle and that to be kind of like that. So, so let me get my glue bottle so I can do some gluing. So here we go. I glued the lace just in the interest of time, and again, I like to use tacky glue. That's just my preference. And usually I glue the paper and then the lace, but just for the sake of time, I know I don't like the videos to last a long time, and I'm going to place it at an angle there, right like that. And let's see, and I was a little bit off on that, but again, everything is very, very forgiving. Now I dropped my glue bottle, so let me pick it up and I will glue the die cut down. So here we go. So once I have that positioned, and again, you can see, of course it's real easy because I have a model, right? At the time I was just kind of hit and miss, looking through my stash of stuff and just trying to get everything just so. So just a little overlapping right there. Now this embellished envelope, you can send it through the mail if you want, or you can use it for a journal. So this is why they're all different sizes. And this is the graphic 45, and what I'm going to do here is cut her out. Now when I cut, am I in frame? Okay. When I am cutting them out, I kind of, well, you don't have to have it particularly perfect, as you can see right there, but you know, I don't have a lot of overlap either. So it goes really very quickly. And this is a beautiful stamp, and I love the roses, and there's a butterfly. And so, looking at that, oh, look at perfect place to put her. Now, there she is, she's ready to go, and I'm going to again use the same technique, which, like I said, tissue paper is so forgiving, you could probably land up just gluing it. Now this is the cool thing about tissue paper. You can turn the images either way. You know how sometimes you wish your stamp would have the other way because of the project you're working on? Well, with tissue paper, you can do that. So, trying to stay in frame here, hopefully. And let's see if I can get as good an angle as I did before. And I don't care, I want her face in that paper, but the roses don't matter. And again, this is why I like the page protector, because it allows you to press down and smooth out the image. And you saw how it was lifting up. All I will do is I will go to another part. You see, it wasn't cooperating on this corner, so I went down to the bottom, picked it up, and there you go. As you can see, it looks pretty, doesn't it? Doesn't that look kind of nice? And of course, I'm wiping my page protector because if you've seen my previous videos, that helps with the whole effect of them. Now I have to find where's that quote that goes with that. Okay, so let me see. It is about, let's see, life is about creating yourself. And I have probably several pages of that. And that looks pretty nice. So let me cut that out. And what is really, like I said, what is nice is you get all that. I kind of like that top one better. So you have choice, which sometimes you don't have when you're just stamping. So this is what's really wonderful about this technique. It's almost like making your own designer napkins, but using your stamps that you like. And there you see, you can see it right there. And I want it there because I think she is such a unique and beautiful image. The only thing you have to be careful is make sure it's on the back. So again, I'm putting my Mod Podge, and now kind of saying, okay, here we go, move the camera, and I want it like right there. I might even go, well, too bad. I put it down and it stuck, and I smoothed it. And there, you can see the envelope beginning to be embellished. So, let's look at the original. What else needs to be done? Well, you can see the lace there. I need a little rhinestone, a butterfly. Now, you see this stamp right here? I embossed with gold embossing. You have to make a decision. The decision is going to be, is it going to be mailed, or are you going to use it as a gift or put it in a journal? So this is where you have to make some decisions in regards to where else are you going. As you can see, that stamp image added a lot, but an address will do the same thing. This is a Tim Holtz tiny piece of ephemera, and this is a butterfly. Now, if you're going to use a stamp right there, you might put your butterfly in another place. Now, where's my bag of butterflies? Nope, that's my bag of flowers. You know, I haven't made a video in quite some time, and I thought I was really nice and organized, but I cannot find my butterflies. In any case, you can then decide a big butterfly, or let me show you another one that I made. This is the same, or a small one right there. This is the same techniques, and you can continue adding onto it. A lot really just depends on what you did. But the thing to see is this is tissue paper, which allowed you to decorate that without any great deal of problems. So then go ahead and embellish the envelope a little bit further, like I said, most of you are saying, oh, it looks very plain. It's this. This is what's really drawing the attention, and the large butterfly. I guess you could put a stamp right there on the butterfly if you want. But again, the choice is yours. But basically, the envelope is now embellished just for, and this is stuff that you have to go look in your own stash. How is it decorated? I had a bunch of butterflies, and this is just a ribbon. And this is a stamp that I found, those large stamps, and I just used my distress ink. And so this is my embellished envelope. And so you can, I think this would be nice to go through the mail. I don't know if it's like a special gift for a special person, event. Go ahead, go and look at your stamps, your ephemera, and decide where else you want to go with this envelope. But the technique I'm trying to show you is just using tissue paper for your stamps, on your stamps. Okay, this is another one. Same thing, same technique. It looks really different, doesn't it? So let me find, you know, when you have everything all laid out, everything's not there. So here is this is another napkin, and I haven't stamped the center, but I have it all decorated, and I'm going to use that same rectangle, which is going to be the base. But this time I have a stamp, and let me use my distress ink. I like this peeled paint, and I just love that color. And this is, I'm sure some of you will recognize it. And all I want to do is just add some texture, some color, so it doesn't look so plain. So I'm not going to really worry how perfect it comes out or not. All I want is a little bit of texture on there, pressing on there, just like that. That's what I want. I don't know, I'm almost tempted. Let's put a little bit more on the top, but I'm going to restrain myself and just do this leaf. There it goes. So now we have some texture. And it's going to be at an angle. And here are the fairy girls. These are black and white, and this is the gold embossed. Again, I kind of, and then I colored them. This time around, I wanted them kind of in black and white because I thought you lost some of the detail. So this is some tissue paper. I got this at an Oriental store. I guess it's something from New Year's. And I was working on a Mulan junk journal for the Disney princesses. So I had a lot of this left over. So what are you going to do but use it up? So I have it. I want to kind of show this leafiness of this tissue paper, and you can see how I've kind of fussy cut it. And so that's what I kind of want to do. And then I'm going to be gluing this down. Now you're wondering, where is the tissue paper? Well, you're going to see how I use that. And again, these envelopes, because they're based, I know they don't look like junk journals, but they are. I get all my envelopes, I got them from a thrift store, and you know how you get a bag full for 75 cents? And then once you start using cards, you have envelopes are like book pages. They just never run out. So it is a junk journal in the sense that it's just odds and ends, even though it looks really beautiful. And I know everyone has a collection of stamps somewhere in their stash. So here we go. I want it kind of at an angle, so I just think it adds interest. So I glued that down. Have the tissue paper here. And I'm not going to be very careful with it because I'm probably going to Mod Podge the tissue paper. It's tissue paper, and this one kind of bleeds a little bit. And you're saying, wow, that's a lot of tissue paper. What I'm going to do, you see it's going to be glued, and pressing down, and then I'm going to fold it over, and it's going to decorate the back. So you know how your back can be embellished as well? So yeah, you can embellish the back of your envelope, and doesn't that look just pretty? I love these two stamps. This is the, and I got them at Joann's. You know, I love the leaves. It's just such a neutral, and I love it for background. So again, you're just seeing me kind of dab the glue and then just fold it over, and voila, there you go. And you know, this edge here I'll fix. Now, this is the traditional cardstock image, and I cut it just for purposes of this video. But this is the quote. The quote with all the little swirls is gonna go right there. So I think I'm gonna glue my girls down, my little fairy girls. And I'm going to show you, you can emboss on tissue paper on this, which I was really very surprised that you could do this. So I want them kind of hopping along there. And you know, you can then get out your coloring pencils, Copics, whatever, and color them. Now, here comes the quote, which I am very happy with because I can see all this detail. And I actually probably use a little bit less glue. Oops, oh, don't fold on me. Not on camera, please. Come on, don't do it. You know how it is, trying to get everything just right. We'll see. And it's not the end of the world. I'm going to discard that one. Why is it not the end of the world? Because I had 3 more stamped. Okay, it's just going to take me some time. So you can see, this is why you stamp a few more. It's not the end of the world. And as you said, I tend to use a little bit less than I do on napkins. I know some of you will tell me that you can glue tissue paper without this, and I know you can. It's just, I'm used to doing it this way, so I guess, and there you have it, and I'll try again. So here we go again, turning it over. Okay, a little bit less, and that's what the beauty of this whole process is. If you mess up, you just have a few more there, and I want to get it kind of, this one horizontal, like there, and there it is. And voila. It didn't even make a blip, did it, that I messed up? It's okay. This is the beauty of this. And I have that glued. Now I'm going to show you, I have a whole little collection of tissue paper, if you can hear it on this side over here. I have one that I embossed with, there you see it, gold. And I didn't think it would emboss. I didn't think the tissue paper would survive. And yes, it did. So let me cut it out because I'm going to add something to this that I didn't do to the other ones. As I'm cutting. So, once again, I want to put, hello dear friends, and I think I'm going to put that right around here somewhere. Or if this is going to go through the mail, if you're going to do this one through the mail, up here would be wonderful. Wouldn't that be a wonderful place to put it? So here we go. Making sure it's clean. I cleaned it off camera using, like I said, a little bit. Let's get a little bit less than you usually use on napkin decoupage. So let's see. Don't fall over because I only have one of you. Well, you see me actually handling it. And this is what you can do with tissue paper. Now, what do you think? Is it starting to look like the original? And you know, one of the things about me is I can't make two things to look the same, even when I'm trying. So this is a piece of scrapped tissue paper, and I'm going to put it right there, the flower. And look, it's a little bit big. I don't worry about it. I just fold it over. It's part of the embellishment. I am really bad, aren't I, about this? So there, you see a little bit of embellishment on the back already. Okay, so now you have a decision to make. I didn't bring my my butterflies. I don't see them. I guess they must be on the other table. So you can put your stamp right there if you're going to send it through the mail. If not, put a butterfly. And then you're probably wondering, oh, what about here? Well, I can put something else. I can put some ephemera. I can do something else right there. But I'm kind of happy with what this envelope looks like. So it's now, this envelope can go through the mail. It can go through the mail. Wouldn't this be kind of fun for the post people to, and you know, and if you think this is going to bother them, I don't think you can find a smaller quote that you don't think will you know, take away from the address. So this is the technique of using the tissue paper, and I think this would work wonderfully on journal pages. You saw my tags. I'm getting ready. Let me reach way over here. This is going to be one of my covers, and I really love this quote: notes, musings, and observations. And you might see her with this, and you can see it almost gives you that transparency, and I'm hoping the flowers will be able to be seen through that. So you could use it on your covers, is what I mean. This is a what do you call those, guest ticket. And one of the things I wanted to show you is this allows you, I was going to put this quote about happy girls, and then I was very disappointed. It was too big. And so this is what this technique allows you to figure out. Or if you really have your heart set on a quote, you can build around it, much like what you're seeing me do with this tag. This tag is only partially complete, but you see I have the quote, and now I'm going to build around it. Oh, there's one other little thing I forgot to mention, are these little flowers. These are just those little Fisker punches, and I do have those, and I have a bag of my little, you know, scrap paper that I just kind of start. There's one that I like right there. Let's see if I have another color. They're all blue, which is not the most, does not offer the most contrast. And let's see. Nope, they're all blue. But in any case, this is what gives you the detail. I thought I would like this. Did I use, I think I used up all my yellows, which gives you a little bit more. And then I just put some little pearls right there. So you could use whatever your small little punch. I don't know if I like that color with it, to decorate this little tissue paper. And it doesn't look like much, but once you put your little pearls on, as you can see, it really makes a big difference. Sometimes you really don't want a lot of contrast, so you know, it's okay. And that would be completed. You see, I like that better than that yellow. but it's just a punch, and then you can either put a little bit of some glitter, rhinestone, whatever you want, depending on where it's going. If it's going through the mail, I think I would just put some little glitter on there and stop right there. So again, how did I decorate this one? You can see there's a doily here, here's a flower, there's a flower. Didn't stamp this one, but the back is also lightly embellished. So again, this is a technique. I think I will make another tutorial where you will see more of the cover, how I use it on the journal pages. So again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you again.